Please go subscribe to the Rumble channel for Franchise Sports TV under the name FSTV22. Now, I'm using that Rumble channel for any purposes of me getting kicked off YouTube and also for more of my spicier joints. It's free as well. I have the freedom to say whatever I want to say as well. So go subscribe to FSTV22. That is Franchise Sports TV 22 on Rumble.
What up, y'all? I can't believe I actually did this. I almost forgot the Sacramento Kings. I was thinking in my head, like, I'm almost done. I got 2 more teams left. Nope. Forgot about the Sacramento Kings. I got 3 teams left. So we reach across the bay, go across Oakland to the capital of California itself, Sacramento. For the young ones out there, the Kings have not always been in Sacramento. Matter of fact, they weren't even named the Kings. Well, their history goes back, just to spit a little history. Their actually history goes back to when they was the Rochester Seagrams. So actually a semi-professional team out in Rochester, New York in 1923. And then they joined the NBL. I should talk about that later on. The National Basketball League. I should talk about that before the season begins. But they rejoined the NBL in 1945. Renamed this as the Rochester Royals. They won a league championship in that league. Then they jumped in the Basketball Association of the NBA, is basically the NBA, in 1948. And they would win a NBA championship in 1951 as the once again was the Rochester Royals, because for the next couple of years, from 1923, they became the Rochester Seagrams, Rochester Eva Seagrams, Rochester Pros, and Rochester Royals. In 1957, they became the Cincinnati Royals. They moved to Cincinnati. And then the Kansas City, Oklahoma Kings, when they moved to Kansas City, and they split between 2 cities at one point in time. It was weird. Before they just became the Kansas City Kings. Actually, Andy Pros, I think that's his name. Andy Hoops, not Andy Pros. Andy Hoops actually did a video about the Kings leaving Kansas City. But it was in Kansas City from 75 to 1985 before it became the Sacramento Kings. But anyways, I do this list by top 5 players that ever played for this team, in my own opinion, what they did for the league as well, and their own standing in the NBA. And this one I'm going to make very quickly, because Sacramento Kings are one of those teams that, unless you're a Kings fan, nobody really pay attention to. I had to say myself, I forgot all about them. And nobody pays attention to them. They finally put themselves back in the news by making it to the playoffs for the first time in a long, long time. But I have to say this. This one may not be who should. Most people up there are very knowledgeable of the NBA. Some of these players won't be in here. So, at the center position, I had to put Lottie Divac. We know he played there. Well, we know he was drafted by the Lakers. We all know that. Drafted by the Lakers. Got to the finals in 91, but lost to the Bulls. But I had to put Lottie Divac at the center position. I'll try to make this real quick. I ain't gonna try to make this too long. When Lottie Divac was on the team, let's see right quick. He was an all-star with them. Because before he played on Lakers and the Charlotte Hornets, the reason why Kobe got to the Lakers, he traded him. He only played for the Hornets 2 years. But he was an all-star with them. His number is retired with the Kings, 21. And that's pretty much it. Most of the stuff he did overseas. He is part of the Basketball Hall of Fame and FIBA Hall of Fame, mainly because his duties overseas as well. But he was part of those Kings team that just couldn't get past the Lakers. Couldn't get past them. But during his time in Sacramento, let's see here. I forgot he went back to the Lakers. Tried to go back to the Lakers. My computer on freeze up. I forgot he went to the Lakers 04, 05 season. But for most of his time with the Lakers, he almost played 81 games, 82 games. He was a 14-4 scorer. I averaged a double-double with him. But I had to put him on there. At the power forward position, it's another player from that era, and Chris Webber. Chris Webber is another person that was not drafted by them. Chris Webber was drafted by the Magic in '93. First overall pick, but he was traded to Golden State. He only played in Golden State for a year, played 4 years with the Washington Bullets / Wizards before he became a King. Probably his peak, you could say. We all know he's part of the Fab Five in Michigan. But yeah, I had to say 88, 2000 maybe before that was pretty much Chris Webber's peak from that time. He did have somewhat of a good career with the 76ers, but towards the end, he kind of went downhill. But during his time with the Sacramento Kings, he was a 3-time All-Star, 2000, 2001, 4-time All-Star, I should say. 2001, 2000, 2001, 2002, and 2003, NBA first team, all 3-time All-NBA second team, NBA third team. And he was Rookie of the Year with Golden State. Rebounding leader for the Kings in '99, and number 4 retired. He's a Hall of Famer. Some people question why he's a Hall of Famer. It's not just, I don't think it was the reason why he got in the Hall of Fame. I think he got in the Hall of Fame NBA career. Some might question the college career due to what happened with that, but I think that's another reason why he got in there. But I'm real Chris Webber. Back him down, score. He can shoot. I ain't forget he can shoot a little. At one point in time, I wouldn't say he was my best player, favorite player, but I like watching Chris Webber. I really did. But once again, they fell to the Lakers. And then they just played in a tough time in the West also. It wasn't just the Lakers. You had Dallas, Spurs, Utah. You know, they was getting old. I said Mavericks, right? Seattle was in the mix in the early 2000s. Suns was too. So, unfortunately, I had to play in there. One of the reasons why I put him on there, because he did get them to a Western Conference Finals, but some say they got cheated. I say they got robbed, but they should have won Game 7 still. But it is what it is. Might talk about that later. So Chris Webber at the power forward position. Now at the small forward position, I'm gonna have to do this once again. I had to be a little bit newer with it, because I like this person as well. Peja Stojakovic. Peja Stojakovic was a shooter, as we all know. He was part of that team as well. What would I say? Was that the best era for Kings basketball? Because in the 80s, they was in the mix a little bit, but they was always a stepping stone for a different team. And they didn't really do anything during the 90s. They was not a playoff team during the 90s. But I guess you could say the early 2000s was a premier years for the Sacramento Kings. But Peja Stojakovic was drafted out in 1996. From he was born in Lucas Sabia. What was he playing? Was he playing in Lucas Sabia? Well, he was playing in Europe. I think he was playing for the Greek team, because he's nationality Serbian and Greek. But he was drafted by the Kings, first round, 14 overall pick. I don't think he played for the Kings until 98, actually. Because you know how sometimes you pick those foreign players, they don't play until 2 or 3 years later. Even though he was drafted in 96. But he was a crucial part of those early 2000 teams for the Kings. During his time with the Kings, he was a 3-time All-Star, All-NBA second team, won the three-point contest twice, never retired with the Kings. He did win a ring, but he won a ring with the Dallas Mavericks. And most of his other accomplishments are overseas in the Greek league as well. I don't think he's gonna. Maybe he might be a FIBA Hall of Famer soon. Who knows? But after the '06 season, he was shipped out to, what the freak was it? Was it Toronto or was it Indiana? It was Indiana, and then New Orleans, then Toronto, then the Mavericks when he won the ring, and then retired with that. Peja was a shooter. I will say that. I wouldn't say a stepping stone, but a predecessor to what you see now. You know, was some foreign players before him, but Peja is what you've seen is going to keep seeing now. These foreign players keep coming over there and play over here in the NBA and having good careers with it. His son is right behind him. If you don't know, his son is actually going to Stanford this upcoming season in the fall. And I think he was a McDonald's All-American along with LeBron's son. So he might be coming, but we'll see. College and high school, college and NBA is a totally different monster. So yeah. Most of his time with he was a shooter and a scorer, but he can get some rebounds. I think his career high average in rebounds was 6.3, along with 1.3 steals. And his career high in the NBA was 24.2 average in points. Playing 81 games. Best free throw percentage that year as well. But that would be the 2003-2004 season. I forgot what they did during that season. They was a conference semi. Yeah, they got kicked out. They lost to that good Timberwolves team that ended up losing to the Lakers that year. That was his best year statistic wise in some areas. So that's Peja Stojakovic for you. At the shooting guard position, I will have to put Mitch Richmond. Mitch Richmond, was he another person that was not drafted by him? He was not drafted by him. A lot of these players are drafted by the Lakers or Golden State or something like that, or Orlando. But he was drafted by the Golden State Warriors in 1988, first round, fifth overall pick. He would go to the Kings in the 91 season, like in the beginning of the 90s for the Kings. They had so much hope with different players that just didn't work out. I'm trying to think of some right now. I'm trying to think of the guy who deleted himself. They had so much pride in him, so much hope in him, and that tragedy happened. But yeah, they had to pick themselves up after that, after the move too, as well. But Mitch Richmond played with the Kings from 91 to 1998. He was a prolific scorer as well. He is a NBA champion, but that was with the Lakers on his last leg, basically. He's a 6-time All-Star, all with the Sacramento Kings, All-Star MVP. 3-time All-NBA second team. 2-time All-NBA. One with the Kings, the other one with the Wizards. He is a Rookie of the Year, but that was with the Warriors. Number retired by the Sacramento Kings as well. He is a Hall of Famer. He won a gold medal with the Dream Team. They call it the Dream Team 3, I guess. I guess that would be the that's too many words. Dream Team 3. I always called it 2, the 96 team. But he won a gold in 96 and won bronze in 98 and sold. Most of his time, for most of his career, averaged 21 points. Well, for his career, it averaged 21 points, 3.9 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 20,000 point score. I would say his best, well, pretty much his best years was with the Kings as well. Out the bat, as a rookie, this is why he got Rookie of the Year. Out the bat, in 1988-89 season with Golden State, he already averaged 22, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. And he was consistent with it, averaging anything around 22 to 23 for most of his time in his career. His best year points was 25.9 in 96-97 season with Sacramento. But during that time, the Kings were absolute trash. I think they made it to the playoffs one time during his time there. That was in 96. And I think they played, so that would have been against Sacramento. Sacramento would play Sonics. That's what I thought. I don't know why I thought the Jazz, but they played the Sonics and lost in 4 games. He averaged in 21. I think it's, and right off the bat, also Golden State made it to the playoffs with him and went deep. But anyways, that's Mitch Richmond, y'all. So at the point guard position, see, I was gonna put him there, but you know what? I put him on a different list, a different team's list. But I'm gonna give some love to Tiny Nate Archibald. I was gonna pick Oscar on there, but I said nah, never mind. I'm give some love to Tiny Nate Archibald because he was a brilliant point guard. I played with the Kings when it was actually the Royals from 70 to 76 before he went on to play the New York Knicks. Would have been the New York Nets was the Nets now, Boston, and then Milwaukee. That's right. With the Kings, he was a two-time All-NBA, two-time All-Star. The other ones was with the Nets and then Boston. He made some noise with Boston. He is the NBA first team two times, I should say, 3 times. 3-time All-NBA first team. 1 All-NBA second team with the Kings. Assist leader, scoring champion as well. Part of the 50th and 75th anniversary team. Number 1 retired with the Kings. And he was a smooth player. Averaging 34. In 1972 and 73, he averaged 34 points and 11 assists in 46 minutes a game. Career highs for him. And he was the first player to win the titles in both categories in the same season. They say Oscar Robertson. Some might say Oscar Robertson did, but in the 67-68 season. But Oscar led the NBA in points and assists per game, but not win the titles because they was based on totals rather than averages at the time. Archibald's scoring averages of 34 points per game broke the NBA record for a guard, and it's still a record for point guards. His 910 assists that season was also an NBA record at the time before being broke by Guy Rogers at 908 as well. But I think he only got to the playoffs once with the Kings. That was the 95 playoffs, but they would lose to Chicago in the first round of the 6-game series. But after the 75-76 season, he was traded to the New York Knicks for 2 first-round draft picks, including Otis Birdsong, Rookie of the Year, Phil Ford. So that was him after that. He is a Basketball Hall of Famer, of course, College Basketball Hall of Fame. Had a big career at UTEP as well, or University of Texas, El Paso. I forgot he actually played in Milwaukee for 1 year. But you gotta put him on there. Somebody say nobody shows love to him. Well, here it is right here. They used to call him Skate. He was tiny. I think he was only 6'1", probably shorter than that. But they call him Nate the Skate Archibald. That's why I say he was smooth with it, because he was smooth getting to the basket and passing that damn ball as well. Like I said, I already said his best years in Kansas City and Omaha, 34 and 11. That's crazy, and he never put that much production, at least in assists, after that ever again. That was crazy. But that's Nate Tiny Archibald for you. So just to count the list over again, at the center position, Lottie Divac, power forward Chris Webber, small forward Peja Stojakovic, shooting guard Mitch Richmond, and point guard Nate Archibald. There are plenty of players to You know, there are plenty of players to shout out for the Kings. You got that Bonzi Wells. I think Bonzi Wells. I don't know why I said first person. I thought it was Bonzi Wells. I think he did play there for some time. Ron Artest, Mike Bibby. I forgot who's the bald-headed black guy. I forgot his name that played on there. Wayman Tisdale, I guess some love to them. Odin Polonese, Brian Grant, Spudware, Kurt Rambis. At one point in time. Who else got a name on this list? Hito Turkoglu, because he did play on there. Nick Anderson. I forgot Nick Anderson played on there. How long did he play on the Kings for? Oh, he played there for 2 years. I forgot Nick Anderson even went to the Kings. But just to name a few, Jack Diamond, that's how you pronounce his name. I gotta get some more on there. Oscar Robertson, of course. Gotta get some love to Oscar Robertson, Purvis Ellison, Lionel Simmons. So many others as well. Bob Cousy did play for his team for a minute. I think it was the late 60s, early 70s. Jimmy Walker as well. So many others. But anyways, I'm signing off this thing to figure out what's wrong on my computer.